Do you ever struggle when going up or down a flight of stairs? What about getting up out of a really low chair or having to pick something up off the floor? Well, if so, this is the video for you because I'm about to share one simple exercise that can help you to increase your leg strength, boost your flexibility, and improve your balance and stability all at the same time. This exercise is particularly valuable for anyone who's recently suffered a knee or hip injury. It's called the sit to stand. To perform the sit to stand, you'll need to find a super stable surface in your house that's the right height. We'll talk about that in a second, but it needs to be heavy duty enough that it's not going to go sliding out from underneath you when you reach back and contact it with your rear end. Now, patients of mine have used heavy tables, they've used the bed, the arm of a couch works really well for this exercise, or like I'm doing here, you can use a chair with cushions or a heavy book stacked on top of it. If you decide to go with the chair option, make sure that you prop it up against the wall so that it doesn't move on you. And once you've got that, you're going to stand out in front of the surface that you're going to be contacting, about 4 to 8 inches. Feet are going to be positioned hip width apart, and they should be externally rotated or turned outward just 5 or 10 degrees, very slightly. From there, you're going to reach backward and try and touch the surface behind you with your rear end and then return to the starting position. You're not sitting all the way down on it like this. It's just a touch and back to the start. Notice that I'm pushing my arms out in front of me to help counterbalance, and it's just touch, back to the start. Now, the key to success with the sit to stand is to select a surface or to modify your surface to a height that allows you to easily accomplish 15 repetitions. That is the threshold or the standard that we're working with here. So say, for example, that I start off with this and it's just too much for me. The range of motion is too great, my muscles are not strong enough, I don't have the stamina to get 15 repetitions. Well, then it's a simple modification. All I would do is add some cushions or stack some books underneath here to decrease the range of motion and decrease the demand on my muscular system and help set me up for success. So you can see I've added approximately 5 inches of height to my stack, and this is going to make the motion way, way, way easier, which is going to help me get to those 15 reps. Once I do that for several days in a row, then what I'll be able to do is slowly begin decreasing the height of my stack and increasing the demand on my body. Now, eventually I may get to the point where I can go lower than the chair and I might switch to another surface altogether. So it's not uncommon for patients of mine to start out on the arm of a couch and then move down to the cushion of the couch, or even progress to the point where they're sitting down and touching a coffee table. As you're going through and performing your repetitions on the sit to stand, there are a couple important things that you want to key in on to make sure that you get the most out of this movement. First, you want to make sure that your entire foot, from your heels all the way up to your big toes, stays firmly in contact with the floor throughout the range of motion. One of the most common mistakes with this movement is that as people drop down, their heels will actually come up off the floor and they'll rock forward onto their toes and the balls of their feet. Not only does this put you at an increased risk for falling, but it adds a tremendous amount of pressure to your knees. So you need to avoid that, and you do that by keeping pressure through your heels and reaching backward with your rear end to try and contact your surface. Second, you need to make sure that you're maintaining optimal alignment through the joints of your lower extremities. Another common mistake with this movement is that as people drop down, their knees will actually collapse inward into a knock-kneed position like this at the bottom of the motion. Now again, this adds a lot of pressure and strain to the knees, and it makes you way weaker. So what you want to do is, as you drop down, you're going to push outward with your knees, and this is going to help you maintain a way more stable and stronger position through your hips, knees, and your feet and ankles. Here's a tip that you might find useful. For patients of mine that have severe stiffness or degeneration in the knees that restricts their ability to get into that squat, I'll often do 5 or 10 minutes of red and near infrared therapy directly to the knees prior to, and then keep it running while they do their sit to stand. And this tends to make them way more comfortable, helps them to get deeper into the movement, and as a side benefit, it helps them to recover faster. The sit to stand is a great way to build up strength and stamina. Slowly over time, you can use this movement to condition your body to operate in deeper, more demanding positions. And as your fitness level and your range of motion improves, your squat gets better, your daily life will get much, much easier. When first starting out with the sit to stand, I'll usually have people perform just one set, slowly working up to those 15 repetitions 3 to 4 times a week with rest days in between. That's important. You want to give your body time to rest and recover. Once you get 4 to 6 weeks in, you may want to add a second set. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you'll put the information to good use.